Trophy Alex Eala shatters records. Incredible new career high ranking ahead of Guangzhou Open. It was still dark in Manila when the news broke on a quiet Tuesday morning. The Philippine sun had not yet risen, but the glow from phone screens across the country was brighter than dawn itself. Alexander Alexa, aged 20, fierce, grounded, and endlessly ambitious, had just achieved a new career-high WTA ranking. The world knew her as a fiery left-hander with the forehand of a champion and the spirit of an underdog. But to the Philippines, she was more than an athlete. She was a heartbeat of a dream that had begun on cracked courts and humid afternoons, where sweat and sacrifice blurred into a vision of greatness. Now, as a Guangzhou Open loomed ahead, the tennis world buzzed with one headline: Alex Eala shatters records new career-high ranking. Before Guangzhou, it wasn't just a statistic. It was a symbol of growth, grit, and the power of believing in something bigger than yourself. The road, paved in red clay and grit. Alex's journey to this moment didn't happen overnight. It was written across years of quiet battles, matches lost in the first round, sleepless nights in airports and long-distance calls home, where a mother would whisper, "Anik, just one match at a time." The rise began in silence. In the beginning, few paid attention when a young Filipina packed her rackets for Spain, training under the shadows of champions at the Rafa Nadal Academy. There she learned discipline beyond talent. Spain taught me humility, she would later say in an interview. Winning is easy to celebrate, but learning to lose, that's the foundation of who I become. On those slow clay courts of Morca, Alex learned to suffer well, to rally longer, to breathe through exhaustion, to accept that progress sometimes look like staying the fight even when everything hurt. And that fight paid off. By 2025, the tennis world could no longer ignore her. Titles and smaller ITF tournaments turned into WTA main draw appearances. Her name started appearing beside those of players she had idolized as a child. Coco Gauff, Leylah Fernandez, and even IG Swiatek. Still, Alex stayed grounded. Her mantra remained simple: keep your head down, do the work. Riyadh redemption and rising fire. The defining moment came earlier that season in Riyadh. Under blistering Arabian lights, Alex faced a grueling match that would test her endurance, not just physically, but emotionally. She was down a set and a break against a top 20 opponent. Her movement seemed slower, her rhythm fragmented. The commentators began to doubt, but on the changeover, she sat quietly, eyes closed, hand on her chest. "Remember why you're here," she whispered to herself. Then something shifted. Her strokes sharpened, her footwork ignited. She began painting the lines with fearless precision. The crowd, initially subdued, started chanting her name. By the end of that match, 3 hours and 24 minutes later, Alex Eala had completed one of the greatest comebacks of her career. That victory catapulted her into the international spotlight once again. But more importantly, it fueled her belief she belonged here. When she lifted her arms in triumph, the emotion wasn't about the win. It was about surviving the doubts, both external and internal. A nation rejoices. Back in the Philippines, the celebration was instantaneous. At the Eala family home in Quezon City, neighbors gathered outside their gate, waving flags and holding homemade banners that read our pride. Television channels interrupted mourning shows to announce her achievement. On social media, hashtags like #Lazing and #Pinoy Pride trended for hours. Even the country's president posted a congratulatory message. Alex Eala continues to inspire a generation of Filipinos to dream without limits. Mabuhay Alex. In classrooms, young students discuss her ranking instead of their math homework. In local tennis clubs, little girls tie blue ribbons around their rackets, whispering, "I want to be like Alex." This was more than national pride. It was national awakening inside the calm before. Guangzhou after the whirlwind of. Congratulations, Alex flew to China. Guangzhou would be another test. A premier level tournament packed with world-class competition. Her team settled into the rhythm of pre-match rituals. Morning, fitness midday practice. Evening, reflection. Coach Daniel Perez, a soft-spoken Spaniard who had worked with her since junior days, reminded her constantly, "You are not here to prove anything. You are here to play your game." But Alex knew how much this meant. This was her chance to solidify her place inside the top 30, a milestone that once seemed unreachable for any Filipina tennis player. As she practiced on the side courts, the air thick with humidity, she paused between serves, staring briefly at the Guangzhou skyline. There the city pulled with life, neon, reflections dancing on glass towers. It mirrored her own story, modern, vibrant, and full of contrast between struggle and triumph. The media storm. Every day, before the tournament, Alex's press conferences were filled. A reporter from ESPN Asia asked, "Alex, what does this new ranking mean to you?" She smiled softly. "It means my hard work is being seen, but it also means I have to keep going. The mountain only gets steeper." A local Chinese journalist chimed in, "Do you feel pressure carrying the hopes of an entire country?" Her response was calm, but powerful. "Pressure is a privilege. It means people believe in you. I don't run from that. I run with it." Her poise left the room silent for a moment. In that pause, everyone saw not just a player, but a leader, a bracelet, a memory, a promise. On the morning of her first match, Alex sat alone in the locker room. She pulled a tiny woven bracelet from her bag, faded red and gold threads intertwined. It had been given to her years ago by a young fan in Manila after a junior match. The girl had said, "For luck, please bring this to every tournament." Alex had kept that promise. Now, as she wrapped it around her wrist, she whispered, "The Guangzhou Knights." As the tournament deepened, so did her poise. Each victory added another chapter to her incredible year. Her semifinal run would eventually end in a 3-set thriller under the Guangzhou floodlights, a match that, though she lost, became one of the most talked about performances of the tournament. When she walked off the court, fans stood and applauded, not because she had lost, but because she had won hearts. The ranking she carried into the event was now more than a badge. It was prophecy fulfilled. Epilogue: the girl who made the world believe. Weeks later, when the official rankings were updated, Alex stood among the world's elite, her name shining like a beacon for Southeast Asia. For some, it was a sports story. For others, it was destiny. But for Alex, it was simply one chapter in a book still being written. Standing in an empty stadium after the tournament, she looked at the seats where thousands had cheered. She whispered to herself quietly, humbly, almost prayerfully, "Thank you for believing in me. The journey continues." And somewhere out there in a small town in the Philippines, a little girl picked up her first tennis racket, smiling because of Alex, Eala, because she saw herself reflected in a champion who proved that dreams, when chased with courage, can shatter every record imaginable. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe Button, like, and share. Till next.